Hi, everybody. Oh no, you can't hear? Can you hear me? Hello? Yeah. Okay, hold on. I can do this. Hello. Okay. I'm gonna pick this up so people can hear me better. Um, Hi. My name's Gavin. And I'll be talking today about cryptocurrency and some of the things involved with it, and just getting started into what it is, how it came to be a little bit, why it is, and things like that. Um, so there is more to cryptocurrency than what I will um, be saying today. And if you have any questions, please at any time you can use the Q&A section to ask me a question, and we can discuss that way for the moment. And at the end, if there are questions and you want to talk face to face, we can certainly do that at one of the roundtables after the fact. Without holding everybody up further, I'm going to get started. Um, so, to talk about cryptocurrency, I have to talk about this technology behind it that enables it, that makes it work, that um, allows it really even to exist in the first place, and that's blockchain. And blockchain is a word that you're probably going to hear about more these days, and it's becoming a little bit of a buzzword like cryptocurrency. Tech, blockchain itself is the technology that actually allows cryptocurrency to go around. It's a technology framework, and what it does is it makes it hard to get away with lying, cheating, or stealing, as you might in or as might happen in other financial sectors. And the reason for that is because if you think about your traditional bank, in only a few decades ago, it was a lot easier to rob them. The cameras were harder to install. The resolution wasn't as good. Whether or not it was stored on tape was its own question. And if it was stored on tape, was the tape actually stored in a good enough environment that it could be even used by the police? These days, it's much harder to rob a bank because of technological advances, and blockchain is one of those technological advances for the financial sector, but in this case, relating to the crypto world. So if you were to think of blocks, literally a cube, like the ones on the screen here, each one of those can store transactions that happen in the cryptocurrency world. And storing those transactions in the cryptocurrency world is very important because you want a ledger. You want to know what's happening. You want to know where things went. You want to know how much money you have. I mean, quite frankly, right? But a block can only hold so much information, just like a box if you're moving. And so once we store so many pieces of information in a block, what happens is we say, all right, this block's full, and then we point to the next block. And so that's why there's a little like chain link there. Once a block's full, you go to the next one, and you keep going. But the thing about blockchain that's really amazing is that you can't change any record that you put into it. So you can say, oh, I screwed up, but you have to log that. You have to say, oh, I screwed up. This value should be this. You cannot edit what you previously put in there. It would be like instead of erasing something in an email, when you misspelled something, you had to put a strike through it and then spell it correctly. And because of that, it gets very hard to lie or cheat or steal because you can't change it. It's what's known as a an append only ledger. You can only put more information in it, but you can't change the information you put in it, and you can't take the information out of it. You can read it though to use it for other purposes. Um, so blockchain is something that all cryptocurrency uses. All cryptocurrency uses it to do two things. One, to maintain the security of blockchain as well as the anonymity of it. When things are anonymous, it can be very hard to maintain the security of a service, a program, whatever it is, because bad people are free kind of to do what they want without being known who they are. So, in order to maintain anonymity and security, we use blockchain so that everybody can read what's happening on a blockchain at any time. But Bitcoin has its own blockchain, a different cryptocurrency called Ethereum has its own, and so on and so forth. Everybody has their own blockchain, and everybody can see what's going on. Now, that doesn't sound very anonymous, except for the fact that you don't know who is moving money where or what's actually um, who the parties are that are transacting unless they make themselves known to you. So the address, like for your house, you know who your neighbor is because you live next to your neighbor, and you've probably met them once or twice. Maybe you know their name, but somebody from a different city doesn't know who lives at 123 Main Street, and that's the same thing with cryptocurrency. Because blockchain is actually just computer addresses, you don't know who's moving things around, but you get to see it all happen, so everybody can audit it and make sure that. Hello? Okay, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I saw that people couldn't hear me. I apologize for that. Um, just as I was saying, um, the every cryptocurrency network has their own blockchain, and that is what enables everybody to audit everything that's happening if they wanted to, including security companies, to make sure things are going the way they're supposed to. So that's the technology behind cryptocurrency, and that really right there is the golden product. That's what makes cryptocurrency possible. Now, what is cryptocurrency itself? Cryptocurrency is a digital form of currency. Now, a digital form of currency, as weird as it might sound, isn't actually new. Um, More than 50% of American banks actually use a digital currency to account for the amount of money that they have in their system rather than United States dollars. So if you're familiar with Chase Bank or PNC, Huntington, uh, and others, BOFA, um, they use a digital currency that they might call a PNC dollars, Chase dollars, BOFA pounds, or whatever they want to call them. And they would say instead of them saying you have three United States dollars, they would say you have three BOFA or something. And there's a variety of reasons why they can do it. In the end, it doesn't really matter as long as they accurately keep track of how much money you have. But digital currency isn't new, and that's the point here. We've had the idea of digital currency for a long time. So what makes cryptocurrency different than digital currency? And to answer that question, you actually have to dive a little bit into cryptography and encryption. Along with trying to make everything secure and anonymous, we like in the technological community for everything to be encrypted because it's very unsafe for things not to be. Think about if you're trying to log into your Amazon account today, and your password was plain text when it was sent over the internet. Anybody who's reading the air, even forget Amazon being hacked or something like that. If your neighbor in your apartment next to your house wanted to, they could read the information that's going from your computer to your Wi-Fi router because it's traveling through the air. And if it's stored as plain text instead of encrypted, they would understand everything that's happening, including what your password is. They would also understand once you log into your bank account how much money you have, and they would be able to do things like tell your bank what to do with that money, which is why we encrypt things, because it's just a horrible idea. Um, so we encrypt things to keep it safe as much as possible. And we started to do a similar thing with cryptocurrency, both to keep it safe, but we also use cryptography to make cryptocurrency more unique and do something really cool. What happened? The crypto name for cryptocurrency, by the way, it comes literally from the crypto in cryptography or cryptographic, because we actually use for cryptocurrency called cryptographic functions, and it's just related to encryption. It's just how we encrypt things. You don't really need to go any deeper into that. But a cryptographic function is something that's a one-way function. And To think of a one-way function, I have this slide here. I love this analogy because it makes things a lot easier to understand. If you were to take two bananas, 1.5 oranges, and one strawberry, put them into a blender, you'd get a smoothie, and you'd love that. Uh, geez, Hello. I'm so sorry about that. I wish that I could better control what's happening right now. Somebody tell me, how far back should I go? That sounds like it's probably been like that for a while. A couple of slides. All right. So I'm just the previous slide was just of a few different cryptocurrencies. I didn't go over what they are yet. The main things to know here are that cryptocurrency is a digital form of currency, and that digital currencies aren't new. More than 50% of all American banks use digital currency to keep track of your money. So instead of storing your money in their systems as $3 United States or 5,000 or a million, whatever it is, they would store it as $3 PNC or $3 Chase or five a Citibank pounds, whatever name they want to come up with. But the part that makes cryptocurrency different than just digital currency is that every cryptocurrency is encrypted using cryptographic functions, and that crypto part is where we get the crypto portion of cryptocurrency. So we encrypt cryptocurrency to make it unique and to do some really cool things that I'll go over in just a few minutes. But coming back to this slide, we uh, we do that using cryptographic functions. That cryptographic functions just being the way that we encrypt data in the technological sector. And we use one-way functions to do that. And so what I was going over is what a one-way function is, and in a second, what makes it a one-way function. And so I love this analogy because it makes things really easy to understand. But if you had two bananas, 1.5 oranges, and one strawberry, you could throw it into a blender. You get out a delicious smoothie. Everybody'd love it, right? But I would give anybody in this room, anybody's family member, friend of a friend of a friend, that can take that smoothie and turn it back into two bananas, 1.5 oranges, and one strawberry. It's not going to happen. And to know exactly how many bananas and oranges and strawberries and maybe other fruits that I put into there would be hard. I would probably have to tell you that this is exactly how much I put in. You might be able to know that it was made partially using banana because you can taste banana and you love it, but you're not going to be able to get those bananas back out. So if you have something like your password for your bank account, and we throw it into a one-way function, it's going to spit out a garbled mess. Literally a bunch of characters that just look like mumbo jumbo to everybody who speaks every language. It's meant to. But it is unique. You're not going to get that jumbled, garbled mess from any other input, and you can't reverse engineer it. That is the hallmark of a great cryptographic function. And most of the ones that we have today are great cryptographic functions. So what does cryptocurrency do with that? Well, cryptocurrency, if you remember about blockchain, cryptocurrency has a specific place where it lives in a blockchain ledger somewhere. So if you have one a Bitcoin, I'm just going to use that as the example because it's the one most people are familiar with. If you have one Bitcoin, there is a log somewhere where that Bitcoin was forged, where it was created. And when that happens, we use the data surrounding that event, like the time, the block number of the block that the Bitcoin is stored in, so on and so forth, to determine a set of inputs, and we'll throw it into this technological blender, this one-way function, to create a very unique garbled mess. And that very unique garbled mess means that your one Bitcoin is unique to you. that nobody can just say, oh no, I own that now. They can't do it. And we also use cryptographic functions to encrypt all the traffic and data that is sent back and forth to these cryptocurrency networks, so that when you want to move your cryptocurrency somewhere, sell it, whatever, that it's safe in that capacity. So going back to cryptocurrency, now that we know that each a, a cryptocurrency is actually unique, and that's thanks to cryptography, we actually have a better understanding now of what cryptocurrency really is. It's digital currency like we've had for 25 years now, but it's actually unique. It's verifiable. You can see it on a public blockchain, see where it's being moved to, but not who that to is. And that is what makes up cryptocurrency. Cryptography allows for us to maintain anonymity and security. Without that, we would be lost. At blockchain itself is what allows us to maintain visibility to ensure that things are going smoothly. Put those two ideas together and you get cryptocurrency. It's a wonderful wonderful thing. First actually thought up in the late 90s, but Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency to actually put these ideas into practice. And so I would have, if we were in person, I would ask if anybody knows of any cryptocurrency examples. Usually the kind of answers I get are something about Bitcoin, maybe Dogecoin, because it's been in the news a little bit between, yes, Dogecoin. Yes, thank you, Renee. It's been in the news with Elon Musk and whatnot. And so I'm going to go over just three cryptocurrencies really quickly, and then I'm going to keep moving on. But you have three popular ones today are Bitcoin. This is your first ever cryptocurrency. It's literally like Mother Nature. It spawned everything else that came after it. Everything else was based off of Bitcoin. So you have Bitcoin. That's your first cryptocurrency, most familiar with. And you have a different one called Ethereum. Ethereum started in 2015, and it's now depending on which metric you use, either second most or first most popular cryptocurrency, second or first to Bitcoin. And then Dogecoin's the other one. And Dogecoin also literally came off of Bitcoin, created by the owner, the group that created a Bitcoin themselves as a meme, literally as a living joke for the fun of it. And with that, you have Dogecoin, and for no reason other than people liked the idea, does Dogecoin survive. Dogecoin's aim is just to be fun, have a good time. That's really it. Bitcoin has its own goal, has its own aim, and that's to be the most censorship-resistant currency in the world. So they're really big on that security, that privacy, making sure that every coin is more unique than necessary, and is its own and can't be undone and can't be pushed around. Ethereum is more of a business-based a cryptocurrency in its mindset, enabling something called smart contracts, which are which is a way to try and automate some tasks to cut out some middlemen, which is a great idea, and a lot of people are taking to it really well. I will go over Ethereum smart contracts a little more in a second. But Bitcoin was the first, and so because of that, if you were going to talk about a cryptocurrency, Bitcoin will always come up for the end of history, even if Bitcoin dies out, because it was the first, just in the same way that the founding of this country, the founding fathers always come up. It will never go away. But you have the need then, because there are so many different kinds of cryptocurrencies, and they're all based on a similar idea, to come up with some words to label them, to better understand what we're talking about when we're saying things. So Bitcoin is in its own category because it's the first one that was ever made. But then you have altcoins, and that literally came from two words, alternative coin and it was literally every single cryptocurrency that was an alternative to Bitcoin. So Ethereum would count as an altcoin, and so would Dogecoin under that definition. And uh, so you have Bitcoins and altcoins, because Bitcoin literally started everything. So you'll see Bitcoin started in 2009. And fast forward, we have today a few thousand different types of cryptocurrency. Some of them have similar goals. Many of them are unique to themselves, and they're all doing incredible things if they survive, or probably not so incredible things, or at least not delivering on that execution if they don't. Cryptocurrency only survives because it's used, because people prefer it to other altcoins. So this is just a short timeline of a few select cryptocurrencies. There's no rhyme or reason for why most of these are here, or if you happen to have a favorite one, why those aren't here. Just to show you how things have progressed in that state, and some other coins that are here that you may or may not have seen. But that's that. Moving on from that, I said earlier that Ethereum, depending on the metric you want to use, is actually more popular than Bitcoin.